Right, morning. Happy Easter at the time of recording this. Gonna do a review today. Since I'm currently going with Oasis albums, I'll do another one. Since I'm doing them backwards, logically next is Heathen Chemistry from 2002. So if I had to rank Oasis albums, there's 7 of them, and this one would always probably come 7th. But the thing is with Oasis, I like all their albums. They've never really done a bad album in my opinion. It's just one of them has to come bottom, and it's normally this one. But what I'm going to say about most of this review is I actually like most of this album. But yeah, I just don't like it as much as the other one, and I don't listen to it as much as the other 6. But yeah, it's an alright album. It is their least good album. I don't like to say the worst album because it isn't a bad album, it's just their least good album. That makes sense. Anyway, show you the artwork. The artwork is pretty crap. That's a nice gatefold with the band on it, but yeah, let's look at the sleeves, get them out. They look like they're taken from the video for the Hindu Times. Is that upside down? Yeah. Let's have a look at the other one. I think the cover photo was taken on a tube station. Don't quote me on that. Like that one, that photo's used quite a lot actually. That's quite a nice one as well. But yeah. What the hell's this? Oh, there must be a little booklet thing in here as well. Go back in, what's this? A little book, it's probably got lyrics, has it? Oh no, it's got photo of Liam there. What else we got? Andy Bell. Have a look. The whole band. I've never seen this book before. Never got it out. Alan White. Whitey. The band again. Gem. And finally, Noel. So there we go. That's everything inside the album, which I have a habit of never showing actually what's in these reviews, what's actually inside them. I'm getting the records out, but whatever. So anyway, like I said, it came out in 2002, on the 1st of July 2002. Something I find quite interesting on this album. I think this is just pure coincidence, but this album's called Heathen Chemistry. It came out 1st of July 2002. A couple of weeks before this, on the 11th of June 2002, David Bowie put an album out called Heathen. So, I think... I hate getting these back in here. Come on. There we go. So I think it's just a coincidence that they have the same name, but... yeah, it is a bit strange, but whatever. It was recorded mostly in London and Buckinghamshire. I think it was recorded in pretty much the same places in this country as what the next album was, Don't Believe the Truth. It was produced by Oasis themselves. I think it's the only album they've ever self-produced. Although when it says produced by Oasis, I imagine it was mainly Noel. It's on the Big Brother label, and it peaked at #1. So, like I said, this is the first album to feature Gem and Andy, and the last one to feature Alan White on the drums. So, the previous album, I'm not going to say too much about it because I'm going to review that eventually, but Shoulders of Giants was only featured Noel, Liam and Alan White. And then Gem and Andy joined them on the tour, so they toured with that album, but they didn't have anything to do with the actual recording of it. So this is the first album they actually recorded. And it's very much beginning to become a band album at this point. They're beginning to become much more of a band. It's the first album that isn't Noel heavy. Liam has 3 songs on here, Gem has a song, and Andy has a song. Alan White doesn't write any songs, but yeah. So it is a shame that this is Alan White's last album, because I suppose he kind of had the downfall of Oasis. It's in their not so good years. Morning Glory was the peak. Then he did Be Here Now, Shoulder of Giants, and this album. So every album he seemed to put out, it got worse and worse and worse. But and then when he left, the next album they did was considered a comeback. Don't think it's anything to do with him, but anyway, I didn't really talk about Alan White leaving in the Don't Believe the Truth review, so sorry about that. But there's plenty of it online. Basically, he quit, or he got kicked out. Originally, he quit. Then Noel said later on he got kicked out. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, suppose I'll go into the track by track thing. It opens with The Hindu Times, which is a really good opening track. It's really strong. It was the lead single off this album, #1 single, and it is a fantastic song. It's definitely them going back to their roots more than on the previous album, where they went a bit psychedelic on Shoulder of Giants. They kind of go psychedelic again and Dig Out Your Soul, but this is much more of a rock and roll song. Probably the best opening song since Rock and Roll Star, and definitely maybe. But yeah, so something I don't like about this album is the name. I don't particularly like the name Heathen Chemistry. I think this should have been the name of the album, Hindu Times. And I think, and like I said, I don't like the artwork either. That is awful. It's just a blurry picture from the Tube, I think. I think it's a Tube. But I think they could have done like a newspaper sort of thing, the Hindu Times at the top, similar to what John Lennon did on his album Sometime in New York City. That kind of art design for this album, I think, with the name of it, the Hindu Times, would have been a better name. But yeah, good opening track. Noel wrote it, Liam sings it. Fantastic song. So that flows into Force of Nature, which Noel wrote and sings. This song is really underrated, actually. This is one of my favourites on the album. In fact, it might be one of my favourite Noel songs, but no vocals, to be honest, ever, because it's just really good and it's really underrated. And at the minute, Noel is on his Who Built the Moon tour, or Stranded on the Earth tour, is actually called. But he said before it came out that he was going to throw in more rarer, lesser known Oasis stuff, and he hasn't really. But I kind of hoped he'd throw this song in. It's one of those songs that he never does. It only ever got done live on the Heathen Chemistry tour, and then it just has been forgotten about since. But it is a really underrated song, and he sings it really well. But yeah, I wish Noel would do it live more often. After that, we've got Hung in a Bad Place. This is Gem's song of the album. Liam sings it, Gem wrote it. Yeah, it's alright, this one. It's one of my lesser favourite songs on the album, to be honest. Gem's a strange thing when it comes to songwriting, because the songs he wrote in Oasis, this is the only one on this album. The only real song he's wrote that I like is To Be Where There's Life Off Dig Out Your Soul. But I'm not saying he's a bad songwriter, because he wrote The Roller, which was BDI's lead single off their first album, probably BDI's most famous song. And The Roller actually dates back to this album. It was demoed for this album with Gem singing it, I think. And Noel said, the reason it didn't get on the album is Noel said to him something along the lines of, that's a potential #1 single, that we're not putting that on here, too good. So I don't know if it was maybe originally intended for Don't Believe the Truth, but whatever. But yeah, Hung in a Bad Place, it's not the best song in the world that Gem has ever done, but yeah, it's alright. After that, Stop Crying Your Heart Out. This is probably the most famous song on the album. It was the second single off it, Noel wrote it, Liam sings it. So when this came out as a single, I think, or was it when the album came out? Anyway, well, basically what happened in 2002, England got knocked out of the World Cup, as per usual, pretty early on. And this song came out just around that time. So Stop Crying Your Heart Out kind of became the anthem of the England football team, and it's kind of stayed since, it still is to this day. But, so yeah, Noel often says, yeah, he made a lot of money when that happened, England being knocked out. But it's really good, this song. It's definitely, it's the ballad of the album. And the video to it, God knows what's going on in that. If you've seen, I think it's on Time Flies, where Noel does the commentary, he says what she's supposed to be doing is pouring petrol on her and she's going to kill herself. But in the end, it's holy water, she pours on her or something, pours on herself. But yeah, so it's a really good song, really good lyrics, really good piano, I think the piano's Gem, and you know, that little bit of guitar that Noel plays is really nice, and Liam's vocals are spot on, as is Noel's backing vocals. But yeah, it's a really good song. So after that, we've got Songbird. This is Liam's first song of the album. Liam wrote it, he sings it obviously. This is a masterpiece, this song. It's about 2 minutes long, or just over 2 minutes maybe. He wrote it about his then girlfriend, who'd become his wife, who's now his ex-wife, Nicole Appleton, who inspired this song. And he never does it live anymore. When it came out, this album, this They went on tour with it. Songbird got done, and then it got done every night after this album came out on Heathen Chemistry, Don't Believe the Truth, and Dig Out Your Sword tours. And since then, Liam's just never bothered with it, despite the fact Noel and everybody says this is his best song. Personally, I think I'm at times a better song than Songbird, but yeah, I suppose probably the reason he doesn't do it anymore is because him and Nicole are divorced. It's a bit awkward, but you know, Slide Away is written about Noel's ex and doesn't stop Noel playing it. It's even weirder, it doesn't stop Liam singing it when you think of it that way, but yeah, I wish he'd do it. It is a masterpiece of a song that he claims he wrote in Paris, and Liam plays the guitar as well on it, which is nice. I don't even know if Noel's on this song. I know he counts in, but I don't know if Noel's on it. But yeah, it's a really good song. So after that we got Little by Little, which was Songbird was a single as well, and Little by Little I think was the last single, although this was a double A-side single, Little by Little, and the song that comes later on. So Noel sings this. This is probably Noel's most famous song that he sings on this album. It's probably the second most famous song on the album. It gets a lot of play and airtime on the radio, this song, and Noel is still doing it live to this day. It's the only song that any of them do live off this album anymore. But yeah, it's a really good song, which Noel kind of didn't like, I don't think, until the High Flying Birds tour, his first solo tour, when he put it in the set, and just everyone seems to go crazy over it in the crowd, so it's kind of stayed around since then. But yeah, it's a really good song. The video for it's pretty good as well. Yeah, I really like Little by Little. After that, we've got A Quick Peep, which is Andy Bell's song on the album. This is an instrumental, which is about a minute and a half, I think. The radiator's making funny noises. So Andy Bell is a fantastic songwriter. He wrote Turn Up the Sun on the next album. Don't Believe the Truth, which is a masterpiece of a song. The Nature of Reality of Dig Out Your Soul is a fantastic album. He's a really good songwriter, but for some reason he's only done an instrumental for his first Oasis song. And it's a good instrumental, but you know, it's a bit of a waste, especially when, like I said before, the roller existed at this point. And you know, there's a few songs that existed at this point that Noel had wrote as well that would end up on the next album, and even a song like Stop the Clocks existed at this point. But I suppose I probably want Andy to have a song that just happens to be an instrumental. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, because it is a good instrumental, but it's just an instrumental. There's not a lot you can say. After that, I got Probably All in My Mind. Noel wrote this, Liam sings it, although Noel does quite a lot of backing vocals on this one. This one's a really underrated song, actually. This could maybe be a single. But yeah, it's a really, really good song. Kind of just forgotten about these days. I don't know if they ever did it live, but yeah, it's really good. After that, we've got She Is Love. Noel wrote it, Noel sings it. This was a double A-side with Little by Little. This song is the first Noel says proper love song he did. It's a really soppy love song, this, which I do quite like it. It's never been done live before. Noel says he often sings it to himself in his house, and he's always saying he will eventually do it live, but he's never done it live to date. He might do it eventually, I hope he does, but and there's no video for this despite being a single, but one does exist. It's a cartoon apparently, but it's never been released for some reason. There was speculation it would maybe get put on the Time Flies thing, box set with all the videos, but it wasn't. So maybe someday it will see the light of day because it exists, it's just never been released. But yeah, it's a good song. After that we got Born on a Different Cloud. Liam wrote this, Liam sings it. Fantastic song. Again, really underrated. Liam should be playing this live on his solo tours. You know, Liam, when he tours, he sings Noel songs, which it's fair enough. I'm sure when people go to see him, they'd rather hear him sing Rock and Roll Star and Morning Glory and Slide Away, etc. But he just completely, other than he occasionally does I'm Out of Time, he just ignores all these songs that he wrote. Songbird, this one, Guess God Thinks I'm Able, Don't Believe the Truth. He's got a lot of good stuff that he just ignores. And this song is underrated. He really should be doing this one live. It was too good to just ignore this one. But yeah, it's a good song. So after that, we've got the closing track, Better Man, which Liam wrote, Liam sings it. I've got a funny feeling Johnny Marr's on this song. I think Johnny Marr's on Born on a Different Cloud as well. He's on some songs late on in this album. I think he's on this. Yeah, it's an alright song, it's nothing too special. But then this song ends and you get half an hour of complete silence, and then it goes into a hidden track called The Cage, which I believe is an instrumental. I haven't heard it for a long time. What I remember, I think it's an instrumental that Noel wrote. It's nice, it's not worth waiting half an hour for, but yeah. Although on the Japanese version and I think some digital versions, it splits the tracks into two, so better man just finishes and then you just get The Cage straight away. All the half an hour of silence has been removed. But yeah, it's alright. So yeah, that's Heathen Chemistry. But something I want to talk about is the single, The Hindu Times, which I haven't got. But it's got 2 B-sides, which are fantastic. And yeah, I was on about a quick peek. These B-sides could have been on this album. First one is called, is it Just Getting Old or Just Growing Old? It's one of those. But it is a fantastic song that Noel wrote. Noel sings it. I think it was originally intended for Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, but it got left off. It sounds like it belongs on that album, just sort of the production of it, but it's a really, really good song that has never been done live, and I think is one of their most underrated songs. But the other B-side is Idler's Dream, which is, without question, I think the most underrated Oasis song. Noel wrote it, Noel sings it beautifully. I think Noel is even playing the piano on this song. I think it maybe is just Noel on this song on his own. But it is he's done it live once on the High Flying Birds tour. Somewhere in America, I think he did it quite late on in the tour as a one-off thing. Again, like I said, he was on about rare songs on his the Who Built the Moon tour being thrown in. I was hoping that he would do this one because he's done it once before, but no luck. But it's just a really, really good song, fantastic lyrics. So yeah, it's worth picking up the Hindu Times single or finding it online on Spotify or whatever you listen to, or YouTube, just to hear this song because it is a really underrated gem. So yeah, Heathen Chemistry, overall, probably their least good album, if that makes sense. Like I said, I like most of the album, but yeah, it's just, I prefer the other 6, personally. But yeah, some people would say this is their best album. Some people would say, like me, it's their worst or their least good album. But yeah, I do think it's thankful that they picked it up. I am thankful they picked it up and made a comeback with the next album. Because, yeah, this album, there was definitely not... It was... Some people saw it as a comeback at the time. Some people didn't. It was quite a divisive album at the time. You either loved it or you hated it. And I wouldn't say I hate it, but I wouldn't say I love it either, but yeah. But it was, finally we got Gem and Andy on this album, after waiting, because obviously they were on the Shoulder of Giants tour and they just sort of played on the tour, they didn't do anything on the album. So we finally got to see them contribute to the album, and it's beginning to become more of a band here instead of just Noel writing everything for Liam to sing. They're actually all contributing things. But yeah, it is sad it's Alan White's last, but, you know, he got to play on Morning Glory, didn't he? That's more than what most drummers will ever get to do. But anyway, so yeah, Heathen Chemistry, Oasis's least good album. That makes sense. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you down the road somewhere. Cheerio.